Hey guys, I'm Mr. Sean Means. Today we're going to be talking about the upcoming game between the Washington football team and the Cincinnati Bengals. This one should be a good one. Washington is projected to win by 2 points. They're 2-point favorites as of right now. And we're going to go ahead and talk about, some important matchups and what I think will happen in the game. Just, a quick little preview. So looking at passing, actually last week, Alex Smith had a pretty good game. He went out there. He didn't throw any interceptions and no touchdown passes, but almost 400 yards. I think he had 390 yards passing. He did actually have a really good game. It was his second consecutive game with over 300 yards. He's looking like he is back. The rust has been almost fully knocked off, and he is looking like a pretty good quarterback. Now, there's a lot of times, I think there was one time where he missed Logan Thomas for an open touchdown. Obviously towards the end of the game, he didn't play too well, but like in the last couple of minutes in these past couple of games, we've seen that he cannot finish games. But looking at the rest of the games, he looks like the rust is completely knocked off, and he's looking like a pretty good quarterback. Is my light knocked down? I feel like the light's a little bit darker. Joe Burrow, on the other hand, seems to be one of the only parts of this Bengals offense that is actually working. He has an 89 quarterback rating, 2,400 yards. He is playing really, really well this year. He's definitely looking like he is not a bust. The Bengals, they made a good choice with this one. He is playing really, really well. Unfortunately, like I said, he is one of the only parts, him, T. Higgins, maybe Tyler Boyd, like the only parts of this Bengals offense that are working. So they have an okay passing game, but they're going up against a team that has allowed the fewest passing yards per game. I seriously feel like my lighting is darker in this video. I don't understand it. Let me turn on my lamp and see if that helps. It helped. But you're going up against a defense that has the fewest passing yards per game allowed in the NFL with the Washington defense. So that might be a problem for them, but I don't think they'll completely stop them. We've seen quarterbacks have really good games against Washington a lot, and I honestly think that I think that Joe Burrow will have a pretty good game. I think the passing game is going to be really good for both teams. Now, the rushing game, where I think things will kind of start turning in the Bengals' favor, because you look, Antonio Gibson has had some good games. 7 touchdowns, 436 yards. He's playing really, really well. And I think that was kind of misleading. I do think he'll continue to, but you also have to look at Joe Mixon, who is not putting up. He's putting up similar numbers: 428 yards, 3.6 yards per carry, opposed to 4.2 yards per carry for Antonio Gibson. The only thing where you see a big difference in Antonio Gibson is the fact that Joe Mixon only has 3 touchdowns. And looking at these past 2 or 3 weeks, Washington's rushing defense has been really, really bad, in my opinion. They have just been allowing, their defensive line, their front 7, which is supposed to be the best part of their team, is not looking good this past 3 weeks. Now, looking at weeks before that, they played really, really well. But I guess it's only 2 weeks, I'm going to say. But still, not looking too good. But I expect them, I don't expect them to play as badly as they have, but I definitely think Joe Mixon will have a pretty good game. So I think this Bengals offense will have a pretty good. I think both offenses are going to have a pretty good game, but I think the Bengals rushing offense is going to do, in my opinion, a bit better. I think Joe Mixon is going to have a better game than Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, and the group of running backs that Washington threw together. I just want to talk about how Washington, before this season, it was supposed to be Darius Geis as their number 1 rusher and Adrian Peterson as number 2, getting most of the goal line carries and stuff. They released both of them a month before the season, and now we have Antonio Gibson, Peyton Barber, who really should not be getting anything. Peyton Barber is not very good, and J.D. McKissick kind of going through all these carries. Washington, I think they'll have a pretty good. I think really Washington will have a pretty good game passing wise. I think they'll have a pretty good game passing defense and a pretty good game passing offense. And I think it's a rushing game on both sides of the ball where they will collapse, if that makes any sense. And another thing is that Dustin Hopkins for Washington, not a good kicker. in the slightest. 70% made, opposed to Randy Bullock, who has 90% made, and he is considered a pretty. I mean, that is board. I mean, that is what you're supposed to have. Is like 80 to 90%. Dustin Hopkins, he misses all the kicks when they matter. It's like I think in that first game against the Giants, he missed a couple kicks, and in this game in their most recent game against the Lions, he missed a field goal. So Dustin Hopkins really not doing Washington any favors, and I think actually if he has another bad game, I have a feeling that they'll probably bring in another kicker. But the kicking doesn't really mean anything. He's made 12 out of 17 opposed to 19 out of 21. But yeah, Washington 2-point favorites. I don't think it'll hold up. I think the Bengals are going to get the win here. Pretty slim win, and I definitely could see it going the other way. But and I'm sorry to say this as a Washington fan, but I do think that the Bengals will get the win here. That is that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We post NFL content every single day, so please subscribe. Hope to see you in my next one. Goodbye.